Hey guys, I want to really big say thank you to coming over to Lithuania. So the guys we have Nash Cohen and Danny. Sorry, can't pronounce your last name.
Danny Jordan-Taft.
Danny Jordan-Taft. So welcome to Lithuania,
I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
could pronounce it.
and thanks to coming over in here. To have a podcast with us.
Yeah.
So actually, guys, I want to start with the Nash Cohen, one of the best coaches in my opinion in the Europe
Thank you.
at this day,
Why are we limiting ourselves to Europe out of interest?
because you live in the UK.
Okay. Okay.
So and your academy is in the UK.
I'm happy. Maybe we can extend it to like Northern Hemisphere.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you reckon that's good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
sounds
take
good.
that.
Whatever you
Because
say.
there's no
boss.
one in America.
Yeah.
They're all rubbish in America anyway. Probably some good guys in South Africa and Australia, but
And New Zealand.
well, Southern Hemisphere exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah. We'll say Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. So, Nash, how did you get involved in rugby? What was your first time when you seen the rugby, like first rugby game?
So I came to rugby quite late. So I went to a school, a private school for posh boys. Yeah, that's right. You can hear that. You can hear the accent. And up until then, I'd always been quite frustrated because I was a good athlete. I could move well. I was a fast runner. Spent a lot of time on the track. And I arrived at this new school, and I was a bit like a fish out of water. Nothing had really ever taken for me in sport competitively, but I could run. Suddenly, someone gave me the ball and they said, run fast in that direction. I did, and I enjoyed it. And I found I was also very good at tackling, and I was a good competitor. So I found this sport at I was still a young age. I was only 13. And within a year, I knew I wanted to go as far as I can. I knew that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I thought at the time, as often young people do. So I went to my coach. I went to my under 15 rugby coach, who I respected massively. He was also my athletics coach. And I said to him, I want to play professional rugby. And he looked at me and he said, you're too small, you're not fast enough, and you don't have what it takes. And I think after I picked myself up off the floor, because it really hurt me, it upset me. I'm an emotional person, although I don't always show it. But I decided I wasn't going to let anyone ever tell me what I could do or couldn't do again. And I realized I needed the power. So I went to ground and I became probably the most qualified or knowledgeable 14-year-old kid in the world regarding sports science. I researched everything. How was I going to make this little body that everyone thought couldn't make it into someone capable of doing that? So I went to, at the time, there was no internet. I went to a bookstore in London called Foyles. It's a really famous bookstore. And I spent hours there looking through sports science books. And I bought a few, learned from day one how to turn this into something that could compete. And that's just followed through. So that was my first experience of rugby. From there, I went professional when I was 17, still at school, for London Broncos, which is an amazing experience. And recently, actually, I bumped into the teacher who had said those things to me. And I said to him, look, I've got to caveat this by saying, this is how I remember it. And I'm very aware that sports people do this. We create things in our mind that will justify the decisions and the things we decide to do. And I met him and I said, listen, by the way, I don't know if this did happen, but I just want to thank you because you started this journey. And now, not only am I involved in rugby, I help kids become super adults, super people and professionals. And he said, I always rated you, Nash. I always thought you were brilliant. And I thought that was just a great way, because for me, I'd always maybe held a little bit of resentment to him, someone I actually quite cared about, but it was my 30th school reunion, full circle, and that was tied up. And he wished me well on his way. And he said he was so grateful that he had been, in his words, very blunt to me. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to be told it can't be done. That's the necessary ingredient to get something done.
So that means you need you're that kind of person who needs an extra push.
I do. I mean, I in my own life, and I'm involved in this business side of rugby. Genuinely, there's a lot of people in the last few years who have doubted me. You can't do that. And I realized that I need them. I genuinely need them. If there was no one telling me I can't do it, I don't think I'd ever try. And that for me is a necessary ingredient. And I see players like that now. So sometimes I get a player in front of me. Got one in particular in mind. And she's phenomenal. She's amazing. But when she needs to be pushed, she needs me to tell her I don't believe in her. And she looks at me and she goes, okay, I'm going to do it. And I realize that's the makeup of some people. That's just what we need.
Yeah, as my coach experience as well, for some of the guys, you have to be like really, really tough. But then I seen like in this rugby generation as well, because you see like 1990, 2000 kids, their all generations are changing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But for some of the boys, you need to be really big brother for them, you know what I mean? So you would be the person who needs that kind of extra push. But from my point of view, when I played rugby, I was oppositive. Because if you would be shouting on me, I would be like, oh, and I just would walk away, you know what I mean? And like my personality would be, but if you will come to me nicely, hey Simon, can we do this? Can you do that? I could kill anybody for you if you would ask for me, nicely, you know what I mean? So yeah, so as the coach, what kind of challenges you getting through with your academy boys? I know Jamaica national team. What is the most of the biggest challenge for yourself as the coach?
So that's probably a really interesting question. I think especially when we work in the pathway like we do in Jamaica, we have a limited amount of contact time, but also we have a very direct target of what we want to do. And I realized quite early on, I had to adopt a strategy, and it's a metaphor that we often use. We say, does it make the boat go faster? And I realized because we had such limited time, I couldn't do everything. It couldn't be the fullest program because I'm not going to see my players once a week. I'm going to see them once a month. I'm not going to have a load of time to embed principles in their head and understanding. So I have to only do the things that are really, really key to get us to our goal. And the rest of the stuff I have to take a view on. And that's how we've gone about it. We've kind of stripped back everything that is extraneous, and we focused on the things that will deliver results. And with some of that we saw today, it was great to see because that's the work we do. I said to Danny afterwards at the end of today's matches, none of this happened by accident. We designed it and it happened. And that's a beautiful thing from a coach, someone who cares, someone who's involved in it, and from someone who cares about what's going on. So I think, yeah, that for me is probably one of the biggest challenges, being able to design something that reaches the goal that we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I get you. Now, back to the Danny.
Mm-hmm.
How are we today?
I'm fabulous, thank you.
Thanks. Now, same question for you. Like, how did you get involved in the rugby, and when was your first time when you get like ball into your hands?
Okay, so my story is completely different, but very similar in so many ways. So I feel like we've been connected because I'm driven by very similar things. So my personal story is very deep, which I won't go into, but I'm very much driven by the more you tell me I can't do something, the more I want to do it. And I think it resonates so much with athletes. But my background, I played netball for England. I'm mixed race, dual heritage for Jamaica and England. And it was a joke with my Jamaican family that will you ever play for your other country? And I feel like that kind of planted a seed for me, and it was always in the back of my mind, I would love to play netball for Jamaica. It was always what I thought. Jamaica are ranked higher than England, and it was hard enough to do England. I'm getting older. But I always had that drive, and I feel that connection with Jamaica for me is so big, because Jamaica have a motto, out of many, one people. So it doesn't matter what we look like, whether I typically look Jamaican or not, I'm accepted. And I wanted to give back. And then I became lucky enough. So the director of Jamaica Rugby found me, found out my heritage, and then asked me to play sevens. And said that, I know you play at a really high level. The footwork's very similar. I think you can transition. Obviously, I said absolutely not. But the next call was, just so you know, we've selected you to go to the Bahamas. So I changed my mind.
I'll go as well. I'll go as well. Okay. Play for Jamaica Sevens, ladies. No
absolutely.
problem.
And, I haven't looked back. It's been emotional, inspiring. I'm on this journey and I never want it to end. And I'm going to hold on to it for as long as I can. But I've been playing rugby now for 5 years. I love it. I moved from sevens into 15s, which I find way harder, but strategically I have to use my brain. I play for North Bristol in the UK, which is a very high standard club. And just the environment. So the girls that I've met are so different to how my netball world was. I'm accepted. It didn't matter what sport I came from. They've got my back. You know, if I get knocked down, they're going to make sure someone else gets knocked down, and I do the same for them. And loyalty is a big value of mine. And I feel like even though I had elements of it in netball, rugby's definitely given me a real sense of loyalty, from meeting Nash to the pathway that we're doing now. So, you know, my experience with Jamaica has been strained to a degree just because of funding. Funding is our biggest problem as an island in every sport. We've got highly, naturally athletic people in Jamaica. You know, I think you could take any Jamaican and put them into a sport and they'd be very successful if they had funding, if we had the tools, if they had the setup that we have in the UK and elsewhere. So that breaks my heart every time I put the jersey on and I play, because it's about who can afford to play that tournament. So that's kind of where my drive came from when I got introduced to Nash, and he had very similar values and wanted to go on this journey. It was a no-brainer for me, regardless of the fact that we don't get paid for this. It's our personal time. We're up till the very, you know, till the sun comes up sometimes, first thing in the morning. All of this we do for the passion, genuinely. And I'm more invested now because my son's involved, obviously. And that, I don't think there's many people that can say they've played for two nations, two different sports, and now that their son is playing at the same time as I am for our country. So I've done my family proud, and like I said, I don't want the journey to end. And now I've adopted all of these boys and girls on the pathway. I feel like it's going to be never ending, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, accepting your fate.
Yes.
And so what's next after Rising Nations? I heard you have a really big tournament next coming in the August or September, just
August.
It's actually in a month's time. So we're off, Jamaica are off to play in the RAN Championship, which is the Rugby Americas North Championship. We'll be playing several Caribbean sides. We'll be playing Mexico, and we'll be playing the USA.
Okay.
And traditionally, we get into the final with the USA quite often, and we've never, ever won.
I say so after today's preparation, what you went through, and actually, yeah, tomorrow you still have a one game, you know. So, you know, so what you think, what is your main goal now to be ready for your next step to playing in the Americas?
Yeah, and I mean, really, you know, it's very dangerous, I think, to ever have one singular goal when you look at a program, because it's a multi-layered thing, and you realize you build year to year. So you're making almost every year the investment into the next year, and you want to carry that investment over. However, there is certain things that you need to put in your program which are bait on a hook, like you're fishing, because you want them to fish and go and bite that. And what's happened over the months is we built up to that. And to quote Ted Lasso, which is one of my favorite coaches, my favorite coach, believe. You need to believe. And they're starting to. And I think that is amazing, because you're at the cusp of now not just seeing great rugby, to use that term we often say between you and me, you're seeing great people. And that is the goal. You know, if I look at everything that we do, and you ask me, well, is that your goal? Yes, it is a goal. It's the pinnacle of this season. It's what we work towards. But win, lose, or draw, we don't fail. We either win or we learn. We never lose.
Yes.
And so for me, that the program, really, my main goal is to create great people.
Yeah. So as I say, every day is a school day. So, you know, we live, and every day you're just gonna learn new things. It's not just like we finished the school and this is it. We're ready for the life. Like, even while I'm now like 38, you know. Like, even from today's competition, like we had it like I didn't tell yet about the guys. We gonna touch the subject about the Rising Nations, but you know, I just want to let people know more about you guys, you know, because this is actually one of the kind, you know, time when we have in Lithuania such a great coaches, team managers, athletes, both of you, you know. So I have one cheeky question. You moved to Lithuania on Friday, for example, you and Danny, yeah?
Yeah.
And you only have the rugby ball we have in front of you.
Correct.
You need to build the academy. You need to build a structure. What do you do?
if I was in Lithuania,
You moved to Lithuania.
I moved
like
to Lithuania.
Yeah, and you have to start from the scratch.
you do what Danny and I have done over the last few years, and what I've done at Elite Rugby Academy. You build a program, and you build a program before you have the players, because it's just there's a film you may have seen with Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, and they do. And I think there's a really important thing. Like, we know already we have a number of players of Jamaican heritage in the UK and elsewhere who aren't in the pathway. And dare I say, our best 15, although we're very proud of the 15 that played today and the 15s that played today, well, our best 15 hasn't been seen. So really the point is to bring those players in, to attract the right sort of players, and to raise the level. You build a program, not here at the level they're at. You build a program up here. And so that's what we've done from day one in Jamaica Rugby, and also obviously you know what we do with Elite as well.
Yeah.
It's all about presenting the highest level of program that we can. In Elite, we're a bit luckier because obviously it's a business and we have, you know, funds come through from players who pay for it. Here it's much different because we have no funding, and that means we have to put these things together. Now,
Tell me about it.
yeah, well, that's right. How do you do those things? Well, that's the daily adventure that Danny and I go through, that the other coaches go through. But there's something which I think is there, which will drive that for a long time. And that's love.
Yeah.
You know, for the game, for what it can do, for the boys and girls who are in our pathway now, it becomes way more than just about rugby. And I think that's the point. Great rugby is about way more than just about rugby.
It's all about people, all connections.
And we felt that today.
Yeah, we did.
Today has been emotional on so many levels because of how much we've put in, the journey the kids have been on, and just seeing them. It's like being a parent to all 28 of them that we've got, just seeing how their characters have changed, how they now conform to kind of the structure that we've given them. And there's little we have to say really, and they go out there and deliver. And to feel the emotion from them today, this was needed. This weekend was needed. And I think I said on the way here, it was needed more than I think we realised until we've just gone through today. And it's not over yet. But the boys are already saying, why couldn't we stay longer? Why couldn't we do more? So yeah, it's been a fantastic experience, but it's absolutely complementing, I think, this journey and what we need to do next to win Ran.
So, as one of my favorite coaches would say, great people make great players.
Right.
Yeah, you must know some very clever
People.
coaches.
Yeah, I know one of the most amazing guy, you know. And okay, so because lots of the Lithuanian people will gonna watch this as well. Tell me your opinion. What's your first like impression in here when you kind of, even when you start the flight, you landed in here, like, you know, through the whole day, and how was your first day of the Rising Nations tournament?
So, I mean, personally, as a country, I love it already. And I knew that as soon as I stepped off the plane. I've never enjoyed London City, where we're so claustrophobic the whole time because everyone's on top of everything. And here you can breathe. What a clean, beautiful place. And all I'm thinking is, how do I come back here as many times as possible? Maybe we have a Rising Nations 1, 2, 3, 7s, 10s. I don't know. But well, I think it's awesome. I think from day one, when I've, you know, interacted with you, but not just you, all the people your team, your players, when you brought those players over to the UK, you could see a caliber people, decent human beings. I saw some great rugby players as well. And you did promise me that. You said, listen, we've got some strong boys here. And you were right. You did.
Yeah. So just get back to that. So it's actually shame that we didn't have opportunity to bring you the strongest side of the Lithuanian national team, because now they have a 7th championship. So, you know, so we wish them all the best in the next 2 weeks' time, you know, so, because you see, Lithuanian funding, it depends on their 7th, because it's Olympic sports, and our government, nobody's really interested in Lithuania about rugby, you know what I mean? So, you know, so, but, so the guys have to concentrate, they putting a lot of effort, and actually, there was a 7th tournament, either in France or Spain. I don't want to lie. I don't remember. So actually, our 7s did amazing job. They bet one of the games. They bet the UK 7s. And the score, I don't want to lie, but it was like 24-17 or 19 to 13, but I'm not exactly sure, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just want to take my phone on in here and check the score, but I'm just like saying, like, Lithuanian guys like has that potential, you know what I mean? And as I always love to say, you know, sky is the limit, you know. But the only thing what I'm missing in here, like, and why I'm jealous, like, look, Ireland, UK, France. Like, when you said it yourself, what was your experience in the like rugby college? You went to the rugby college, yeah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
went to a
yeah.
very high level rugby school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you
Yeah, I mean,
explain it? What was the life
I
in
was-
there? You know?
And this was before they became really hardcore, these rugby programs. We were still doing about 12 hours of training a week with a rugby ball in our hands, then playing sports in PE, which were all kind of focused on catch and pass. And you just can't beat that. You only can create real development and ingrain some of those skills that you need to play the game if you have enough rugby education, if you have enough ball handling time. It was a great experience I went through. I went to a school called St. Paul's, and brilliant education, which I took very little notice of because I found my love, my passion, and that was rugby. And after that, I just had no interest in anything else. I spent the next 5 years dedicated to rugby, and I'd hand in my homework later. My teacher would say, well, you haven't done the homework, but good try on the weekend. So it didn't really help too
That's
much.
amazing.
But no, it was a great experience. And I think for me, I didn't get to where I wanted to go in rugby through a couple of decisions that I made myself, which I have to live with and go forward with. But what I took out of it is you're not going to keep me down because I'm just going to keep getting up. And that's more important than actually where you get to in a professional career, isn't it? Because life is not easy and you are going to be knocked on the floor and you're going to be backed up against the wall over and over again. The ones that come up fighting and they keep standing up, those are the people that do something with their lives. And I think that's the same with us. You know, I get that at Elite Rugby Academy. We get that at Jamaica. Everyone wants to be a pro. There's not enough places for everyone to be a pro. Most of them, all of them, won't make it as a pro. But that's not the point of rugby. It's about so much more than just rugby. And I think that's so important. We miss that. Maybe if more people in Lithuania or the federation, the government realised that, they would see this as a great way for us to uplift people and give them opportunities. Life skills, not rugby skills.
Yeah, that says a lot. Okay, so I think we should kind of start on our baby subject.
We're having a baby?
Yeah.
Danny,
You
anything
too.
you want to tell me?
No.
It's our baby.
Our baby? Okay.
Our baby.
Our baby, okay.
Our
okay.
baby.
Okay, got that. I know you've been brought in. She was like, oh, you've been brought in.
Did you see her face?
I know, she was like, well, okay, guys, you take your baby away.
Right.
Did you see
You
your
can
face?
share the baby.
Okay, right, talk to
What
me.
is a baby?
Yeah.
So the baby is called Rising Nation.
Hey.
That's the baby.
Was that my name idea, by the way?
Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe.
So.
Mine was Nations, yours was Rising. Yeah,
Mixed race baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but we have another few people who's not around the table who got involved behind the scenes, you know. So, big thank you for Irmantas, Tautvydas, you know. We got some support from the Lithuanian Federation, you know. So, our president showed attention, show up on today on the field, you know. So,
Okay.
even like he had it to be in the other place, so he spent the time till lunch with us, and then he moved back, you know, another 2 hours back to open another tournament, you know. So, but we really appreciate it. She showed up, you know, and everything we doing. So,
And you've done them proud. I was just going to add to that, like the structure today, everything's ran so smoothly. Every question or anything we've asked for has never been too big of an ask. And the experience we've just had, you'd think that you've been doing this for a long time. So we appreciate it for sure. And even the preparation in the run up, like I've asked for a lot of things at all hours of the night. And it's always, yes, I'll find a way. And you come back to me. So thank you. I think it goes a long way, and it's needed for something like this to be successful. So
yeah.
I mean, and you remember this was an idea that was just started as a conversation, and you know, often people ask me, well, how did you make this or that or whatever happen? And you know, the answer's simple. You have an idea, you put a lot of energy and passion into it, and you work hard.
Mm.
You know, that's
Make it
really
happen.
what you do. You make it happen.
Yeah, and yeah, really thank you, for all this, because actually, that, to be honest, like, if I wouldn't have you guys in here, I don't know would anybody would be coming in here to do the Rising Nations. You know what I mean? But actually, as the Jamaica is such a big name,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, we had it another great team, Sweden. We had a team Latvia. You know what I mean? But then that kind of, I think Jamaica name done it a kind of big favor, you know what I mean? And look where we are now, and what else I want to ask you? Maybe you can tell the people about how this kind of came up to people to know kind of more story, because I don't want to, I want to hear from your point of view.
Yeah, how do I remember it?
Yeah, how do you remember it? Tell me about it.
So I think how it started was quite simple. We were discussing the potential of Jamaica playing Lithuania, because it's a very natural thing. You're involved in the national team at under 18 level. I'm obviously involved in the Jamaican team. We get on very well. We're doing things together outside with regards Elite Rugby Academy and Countess Academy. And, I think it was a very natural progression, wasn't it? To say, well, let's get your boys, let's get my boys, and let's bring our boys. Sorry, Danny.
Yeah.
And let's and let's have a game. And I think very quickly it became, well, let's have a tournament. And I think the idea snowballed. And if you look at the interest that's been there online, on LinkedIn and Instagram and all those places, and obviously seeing the incredible games that happen today.
Yeah.
I think this is just the beginning, and almost in a way, you took on a lot. You pulled in 4 great teams to play, and I think next year you're going to have many more knocking at your door, because what we've done today is deliver a great celebration of rugby, people, and culture.
Yeah. So, what kind of experience and challenges did you go through today in the Rising Nations?
Today on the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we played an incredibly competitive Swedish team, and hats off to them. They were brilliant. The defence was superb, put us under real pressure. We ourselves have gone on a journey to deliver a certain style of play, which we have, honest to God's sake, I'm telling you, we have not delivered on it until today. And I think that's, from a coaching perspective, huge, because that's what we work for. It doesn't happen by accident. We design these things. So to see that was great. So that was a big challenge. We had moments in that game, and even in the game we played against Lithuania, where the guys came up against problems and they were tested and they had to fix it. And as a coach, there is only so much you can do. Often I talk about this, about, the fact that we are teaching our players to maybe read lines in a play. And sometimes they may forget a word, so you can give them a prompt, but you can't do it for them. You're not there with them. And actually, one thing I try and pride ourselves on is when I go into feedback to them, it's about not giving them too much information, but about simple things that will have a big effect that they can follow. So I think one of the big challenges we had today was overcoming the problems we faced on the pitch, which Sweden was really tough.
It was like, I think, sorry for interrupting you, but I think that kind of opener could be World Rugby World Championship opener. What kind of, because I was on the far side of the pitch, and I can hear bang, boom. I can hear every tackle. I can hear the voices. It's like, there is an earthquake in Lithuania? We never had it before. And that when as I say now, you remember I don't know, did you had it in the UK, but it used to be a TV show, American Gladiators.
Yeah, of course. We
have our own gladiators.
We've got UK gladiators.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm calling, now the rugby players are the new generation gladiators.
Absolutely.
And in my own opinion, the biggest and the strongest and the most powerful and most intelligent people is rugby players, 250, 280 pounds guys running to each other, just bang, bang. And they're not like some of the soccer players, you're just gonna touch him like a fly and he a thick, exactly, and they're gonna be rolling. You see the guy's bleeding, from today, he got it big kick with a boot, his whole kind of head bleeding. he's up, nothing happened. Like, this is why I love rugby. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and
Builds
even
character.
yeah, is the character. You know what I mean? So rugby players and people who's around, I think they're different kind. You know what I
different
mean?
breed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I look at I don't want to call them kids because they're players to me, but they're children. I look at the children we brought today. You know, there was a kid today who was 15 years old playing against guys who were fully mature, fully grown. There wasn't just one, we had about 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact they are going and solving those problems physically, using their brain as well, but they're brave enough to defend their country's honor, the man next to them, the coaches, instructors. They do all those things with their body. You got to realize that's a different animal. That's not the average person. The average people don't do on all sides the stuff that they did today at every level. And I think that needs to be commended and recognized, you know?
Yeah, no. What's your experience? Can you tell me, Danny, about your today? How was everything?
Perfect.
Even tell about that fight. Tell people about what even happened.
No,
handbags.
Listen, organization, structure, everything. It's been easy for me as a manager. Everything has gone really smoothly, so that's been fantastic. I think my assumption of you people are very friendly. You people, very friendly, very welcoming. Yeah, very welcoming. Yeah. And like I said, nothing has been too big of an ask. So with regards to all of that, fantastic standard of rugby has been better than we could have imagined, and absolutely what we needed for our preparation. And I love that it's got feisty quite a few times on the pitch in the 2 games we've played. But like you said, as soon as the rugby's over, we're shaking hands, there's smiles, there's conversations, there's culture conversations about where they're from, what language are they speaking, and they're all becoming friends. They sat in the changing rooms together, spoke about each other, the players, what they're doing outside of that. And then there's the feisty fight bit, yes, that I can see you're waiting for me to talk about.
Mama.
Yeah. So, yes, these are my children now, all of them.
She gets a bit,
and they listen.
defensive.
They listen to me, so I know I can stop it. And I appreciate, and I think you should say what you said to me, but when I know that they get to a point where the fisticuffs may happen, I know they won't go that far, but at the same time, I'm reminding them, I want you to step down. I want the rugby to do the talking.
And you're wearing a badge.
And yeah, you're representing all of us, our country, our islands, everything we've put into this. So I do not want us to go away from something as fantastic as this, the Rising Nations, and be known as the team that came for a fight, or be known about that fight that happened and what happened in the fight, the detail of the fight. I want them to know that we came, we progressed throughout the tournament, we played great rugby, we had 15-year-olds, we had a team that were well-mannered, we tidied up after ourselves, all those things that are important to me. And that's what's going to grow the players, that's what's going to grow the program, and that's going to attract more. So that's the reason why when it happens, I become mum, I guess, and I try and stop it. But I heard what you said. Say what you said to me, because I agree with what you're saying, and I'll take that with me.
No, my advice, I kind of learned one lesson, and for the viewers who was watching, who wasn't in the stadium, who didn't have it to be at the stadium, Lithuanian guys and Jamaica guys, small scrap, touching shoulders, and then Danny run to the stadium and just like, boys, stop it, and then
it was a little bit more aggressive than that. It was, don't you dare, stop it, don't make me sound like that.
Oh no, but like, yeah,
she's not dainty, is she?
Yeah. So, and then we actually was on the way with the Nash and Danny on the podcast, and like my point of view from my rugby experience, what I was trying to say to Danny, let the guys to stand up for each other. This is what builds the team. This is where you can trust. This is when you see who you can trust, who is behind you. Hey, Micah stood beside me. Ruben stood beside me. I know they have my support. I'm gonna go there. I'll have support. All my guys is behind me, you know what I mean? And when you have that kind of feeling, you're just like a Superman.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know what I mean? This is like, you have your Batman, you have your Robin, you have your Superman. all the Avengers, all of the guys, you know.
It's Marvel now, but okay.
Yeah.
Showing your age.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm the Dark Knight guy, you
Right.
know.
That's DC. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't go that deep, you know.
You're not much of a nerd, really, are you?
No.
No.
Too cool.
Yeah.
But your point is really valid.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think you're absolutely right. And I am going to take it on. And I feel like I half want to go to them and say, do you know what? I apologize for getting involved because they did do, I didn't have to do very much, and they did step back, and actually they did let the rugby do the talking.
yeah.
Because the specific person that probably was the most feistiest in that, he his reaction was, I'm going to score a try, and then he scored a second try, and then the rest of them all pulled together, and we started seeing the rugby that we wanted them to deliver. So I agree with you. Thank you.
And I think, you know, there's, and I said this to them, it's such an important lesson. There's things you can control in life, and there's things you can't. And what you can't control is you can't control the referee, you can't control the opposition, you can't control any of that, but you can control yourself. That's got to be the lesson out of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't think anything was going to happen, but I get why you could be concerned. But a little bit like sometimes you probably need to love them enough to let them hurt themselves a little bit and see how that happens and goes.
Because even I showed you, I think, by the sideline, you know, just don't go.
Yeah, no. I saw,
Leave
you were like, so,
yeah, because we are boys. We need that, you know what I mean? Sometimes one good hit kind of brings you back to reality, because sometimes you can think, oh, I'm a superstar.
I think you get to a point, you know, don't you, where you get up for things and it's positive and you're charged up. And then when something like that happens, it rises and it gets possibly where it starts to be not positive. And I think players feel that as well, and they get that. And I think they're happy to calm down because they don't like that ugly side as well. Because that is the loss of control, isn't it? And I think those are really useful moments. And very rarely have I ever seen it descend into all-out punches. When it does, the game's called off and it's finished because it's just a brawl. And that's not right. But a couple of handbags, a couple of, you know, dodgy hits, those are the things which you have to take in your stride, deal with, and control your reaction, not what other people are doing or not doing, you know.
And just on that, you've just reminded me, when I was talking about how friendly and welcoming everyone's been, the group of children that came with their parents today.
Yeah, sorry guys. I want to really say a big thank you for Ariogalos Aris. They're actually just the new project.
Right.
I think they're around together for 3 months.
Wow. These are the tag rugby.
They
were great.
And they in this like such a small area. It's really like small. It's maybe half of the Luton. Maybe, sorry for my geography, guys, but I'm just saying. For example, they're really tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Our video guy, can you check the population of the Ariogala? So, you know, we have our own Jamie, as the Joe Rogan has, you know.
Go, Jamie.
Yeah. So the main thing, and they have already, like, even like for Lithuanian, as a small project, they have 23 kids.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
was talking,
And he's gonna tell you the numbers of the Ariogala. How many people? 2,500. So, actually, guess what's population in Ariogala?
2,500.
You can speak Lithuanian.
Oh, I can understand do something. Something sounding like
2,500 people.
Literally on.
I would have guessed that also, actually.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Didn't, did you? So,
Okay.
So,
polite.
but you know, it's like, you know, for me, it's like, I just want to say props, you know what I mean, for the guys, because they come around here, they had a support. But then the main thing, you see what happened, I knew they're like not really far from us. They're, I think, 1 hour drive or something like that. But I'm like, I remember when I was the kid, you know what I mean? And before I do, like, you see, I don't know why. Is it maybe wrong? But for this moment, it still kind of works where I see my rugby and everything, and how I deal with my players who I'm coaching, you know, regards to Kaunas Rugby Academy and Balbriggan Rugby Club in Dublin. Before I kind of make any decision, and if I try, you know, to go, which way should I do it? I always putting myself. Would 7 or 12-year-old Simon would like that?
That's good.
So I always, you know, if my coach done it like that, how did I feel it? You know what I mean? So I'm always kind of try to put myself in the kid's shoe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then So this is what happened. So I called to the Arius team coach Claudius. I'm like, listen, guys, we have a tournament in here on the long break. Would you love to bring your kids to just to play on the break on the field?
Right.
You know, we having all we had a dinner, lunch. Sorry, the kids just played. You know what I mean? But for them,
Huge.
they will gonna memorize this till the day I
Absolutely.
die. I think, you know what I mean. Like, look, your kid boys were amazing. Like you doing like drills and everything, kids running around. But
So
you,
it was better than that. They approached us when we were warming up, when we were setting
yeah,
up
yeah,
camp.
first morning.
The parent or the coach, he came over, he blew up our ice bath for us
Yeah.
while we were warming up. The kids then were collecting the ice, getting the water. And then in the games, they kept saying, we want to do what you do. So we were talking to them about rugby. They said, will you cheer us on when we play touch if we cheer you on? So they came with us. They learnt our chant.
Yeah.
They're in the bleachers singing our chant while we're playing.
Yeah.
And then all it took then is they came over and said, look, we're going to play touch now. Don't go. So we all walked over. The boys started playing with them.
Yeah.
We were cheering them on. We high-fived them and they loved it. And just at the end now, they came over and they were saying, thank you, we've had the best time. So we put them in the chant again with us, which they thought was wonderful. And again, the coach came over and said, you have made their day. Then the last thing, they came back over crying. And I said, what's happened? We're not allowed to come back tomorrow.
Oh,
I know.
We have to get them
Yeah.
to come to Mexico with us.
Yes.
That's what we need to do.
Oh, gosh.
But you know, this is how you create the next.
Yeah.
You get the next generation, and I think to be honest, like, how do you build pathways? You start kids playing
This is the
young,
main thing.
and you start them loving it, and you
In the
start them
culture.
enjoying it, and you bring in all the positive side. And many years later, many iterations later, players run out in the field, and it starts there. So I just think, you know, build it. If you build it, they will come, and they're starting to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because even like this is how I remember, like in Lithuania we have a tradition, yeah, like so when you're going to the first grade, like when you're 7 years old, yeah. So in Lithuania the school program, so you start seventh grade, first grade, and you finish kind of 12th grade. So the 12th grade
Right.
is very last one. So in Lithuania on every 1st of the September, 12th grader always takes the first grader.
Right. Okay.
And we used to stand outside the school, so it's kind of program, you know. But that from the 12th grader
Okay.
is holding the first grader, and I still this day I remember I was holding. I don't remember the flower, but I remember the girl, how beautiful she was. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
she's like just holding me by the hand. So was like my first year. And for her, it's the very last year, you know what I mean? So this is what I want to kind of bring to the boys as well. Your boys, Lithuania national team, Sweden, Latvia, we were like at 12 graders, and those kids is just the first graders, and then so you know how they're gonna be waiting for the next Rising Nations for the next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna bring their own.
Their friends and yeah.
everything. So they're gonna be inviting their friends. Oh, play with us. Next year we're gonna go to the Rising Nations again in Kaunas.
Yeah.
All the teams are friendly.
Yeah.
So the more kids they're gonna have around it. So then they have who to work with. They can make a pathway. They can have a future. And this is it. Like this is coming like from Rising Nations tournament. You know what I mean? So we kind of bring everyone around us, you know what I mean? Even with just smallest involvement, we ask just to have a tag rugby, you know what I mean? But the kids will have the memories for the rest of their life. You know?
Yes.
I think it's huge. It's how you build legacy. You know, you make people fall in love with the game. They stay in the game. They get great values from it. It becomes part of their DNA.
Because you see, those kind of kids, they are for foundation.
Sure.
You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
agree.
The earlier we gonna get them, and the earlier they will gonna get into the
And
rugby.
one big thing I have to ask you, you need to do more for girls rugby. You need to do more for girls rugby because that A is the future. B, one thing that I find synonymous with rugby values, especially being someone of colour who played the game that sometimes maybe didn't always feel like it was my game. Rugby is for everyone, men, women, girls, boys, every colour, every race, every religion, doesn't matter what you are. And I feel like that's our biggest challenge in the future is changing people's mindsets, but giving equal opportunities. Because the same girls that go and play are the same leaders who then do amazing things in the world, create jobs, change the world, and that starts there. And I think like the statistics are undeniable. Girls who play rugby go on to be
Leaders,
leaders.
success.
Oh, just to let know to Lithuanian people and all over Europe who's gonna reach and probably are all around the world. Sorry, just for only saying Europe. Tell me about your
Girls.
Jamaica girls.
Wow. That needs a
'Cause
whole podcast.
I know,
That
yeah.
is so
They
cool.
need their own podcast.
I mean, we're proud of everyone, but
Can I ask you one question?
please, yeah.
In my opinion, they should be playing against Roses, Ferns,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the first time we've heard that.
Yeah.
because the way I see, I know we're gonna probably see them August. I think it's 21st, 22nd.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So so we have a Lithuanian and Latvian girls, but it's just under 17.
Correct.
Because the main problem when I was trying to organize the girls, Sam, when I seen
Yeah.
the Sam post on the LinkedIn, we kind of done this one on the really short notice.
Okay. Yeah.
So there was like for the girls, we have a lot of interest from the Saudi,
Okay.
Luxembourg.
Yeah.
I spoke with the one girl from the Belgium. She's involved for the girls rugby, and like I live in Dublin. I'm getting texts like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. People from Nepal is texting me,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, you doing the Rising Nation girls?" You know what I mean? But you see, Nepal is kind of India. You know what I mean? So
I think when we do it, we must have an open invitation to any girl
oh yeah,
who plays sport in Lithuania, who doesn't play sport but wants to come and try and come and learn this, and we will do whatever we can, our players, our coaches, to support that.
oh yeah,
100%.
that's brilliant. But just get back to the subject. What have you to do? What, like even all of us or just you, like but my kind of point, what have you to do that we would see Jamaica girls in the World Cup?
We've got a lot to do. Yeah.
There's lots to do. I mean, we are only just starting to touch the sides of where we need to be. The biggest thing, funding is what it comes back to. The more money we have, the more we can do, the more we can grow. But we're trying to prove that it's worthy of that by doing what we're doing right now. But the talent that we're getting is undeniably ridiculously high. I mean, the last game, Nash apologized. The last game, 93-5, whatever
14,
the score
yeah.
was, 14, sorry. Nash had to apologize, or he felt he needed to apologize to the girls because he said, we need to get you a bigger challenge.
Yeah.
Because at the moment we're playing games, we're going to tournaments, we're taking home medals, trophies.
Never lost.
Yeah, to this day we haven't lost. But we want to be challenged. They want to be challenged because they just want to keep growing. And
I said they deserve better.
yeah.
They do.
But they're unbelievable girls. They
I don't
really
know.
are.
I think they're one of the kind. I think like Lithuania still owns unlost game. I think we bet actually All Blacks because the last record was 17 unbeaten games, and when we had it highest potential in the 2010s of the Lithuanian national team, we were actually the older coaches kind of done a really great job. We actually broke the record. We hold now the longest unbeaten game record. We were unbeaten for 18 games.
Wow.
So that game record like still belongs. So I think I know it's probably the girls' records and the man record. It's in the different categories, but with what are you doing with the Jamaica? I think they're gonna push that record double. What I see from the side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those Jamaican girls, what are they capable of?
This is it.
I'm like, just to be honest, I'll say as it is, like I think they can play 7 against our 15. You know what I mean? I'm just saying as it is.
Yeah.
Or some of them, they can bring their beach slippers, and the towel. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. Like this is the truth. What are we talking about? What kind of athletes you made and raised? Like you know what I mean? So, this is like really unbelievable, you know.
I think I mean, I've said this to them and I say it to everyone. We're so proud of them. Not just their playing ability, but the way they've clubbed together as sisters. And I think you have to recognize what goes on in the world. And for us, as people of colour in the UK, we normally are the only one or two that look like we do or they do. And suddenly they're playing together. And I think beyond the identity thing, the inclusivity thing, there is DNA that runs through that team. I mean, the boys today were great. We have great moments with the boys, but the girls, it's like they are one brain, one hive brain, and they just work off each other and they work for each other. And I've never really seen a team that dominant, that cohesive, and that much, I would say, almost in love with each other
Yeah,
and what
for
they
sure.
do. Without even knowing each other, they
Yeah.
instantly click. They
But they
instantly
just like it.
Yeah.
It's because and that comes. Look, we love to take the credit as coaches. We can't, because a lot of it comes from them. We do have an amazing coach in Sam. He is remarkable.
Sam Holiday.
Absolutely.
Hello.
The work he does, the effort, the passion he puts into, and again the care he
The
has.
time, yeah.
Yeah, the time and care is unparalleled. But even he would say, they make us look great, and it's so much down to them and who they are, their parents, their hard work, their athleticism, of course, but more than that, it's who they are as people.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of going at the end of our podcast,
Sure.
but last subject:
Let's do it.
Rising Nations for the next year.
That's right.
What's the plans? What's the challenges?
Well,
what we have to go through, and who we inviting in?
Yes.
Well, I'd like to officially invite ourselves to the second year.
You're
if that's all
welcome.
right with you, if that's
Yeah,
all right.
with a-
We'll have to talk about dates, of course, but
Yeah.
I would say to any nation who's out there, any tier 2, tier 3, rising nation in themselves, world nation in themselves, we're all on similar missions. We've got aspirations to not just play great rugby, but to create great people. That was one of the great things we saw today on the pitch, off the pitch, chats between coaches, players, respect. And there's so many on that journey. And I think like-minded people should flock together and be together. So firstly, from me, Jamaica, from Danny, I hope I speak on your behalf, our director of rugby, we want to extend an open invitation through you to every single nation out there who has a dream, who believes in something bigger than themselves, bigger than rugby, and cares about the people in front of them. You be with like-minded people if you come to the Rising Nation. So we'll see you there.
Yeah. So, guys, maybe last word. What you think about what should we do for the rise? Actually, the big boss.
I'm
boss.
the boss.
Let her finish.
Let her have the last word.
Okay. Okay.
I would have anyway. I think it just needs to be bigger. I would love more games than what we had. I'd love to have stayed for longer. I just think this could be massive. We've learnt from the other coaches. We're sharing, similar experiences. I know I've stolen a few ideas, which I'm not going to tell you because then you'll still... No, I won't, of course.
We'll share.
But yeah, and I just think this network, the more that come, the more we can all share. There's enough room in this world for all of us to grow and all of us to have fantastic pathways. Let's link up and let's have that like-minded chat and yeah, just grow a network of amazing players all together. And what better way than in this beautiful country where you'll look after us again.
And you can
do
call
everything for you. Call you at any
yeah.
time of the night. He'll always pick up, regardless of what country you're in. Just call.
No problem.
No,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, I want to really say a big thank you for Nash, Danny, because to be honest, this thing couldn't happen with you, but I need to give the props for Swedish team.
Oh yeah.
100%.
They're like, as well, Terminators.
Right.
Yeah.
They're Vikings.
They are
Yeah.
Vikings.
Oh yeah.
They stand by their name.
Aren't
They,
they
they,
just?
they were
Yeah.
Vikings, today. So, big props to Latvian team. They
They came to play.
they came to play and they rised. Latvian rise today. You know what I mean? So
They understood the assignment.
yeah. And so what I want to say, really big thank you to all. And whoever teams and coaches, directors of the rugby please don't hesitate to reach me out on the LinkedIn. Well, I'm gonna just add a link to my LinkedIn below this video. We're gonna add Nash Cohen, Danny as well.
Thank you.
And the guys who wants to have camps with the Nash, feel free to catch him on the Instagram, Nash Cohen. Or if you want to follow Jamaica Rugby Pathway, if I'm saying correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamaica UK pathway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamaica UK Pathway. You're gonna be seeing some videos, and as well, of course, I'm not gonna forget. Check what we're doing on Kaunas Rugby Academy in Lithuania.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and really big thanks to everybody. And I hope next year, around the same time, this table is gonna be full.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna need more seats and a bigger table,
Yeah, and the more cameras
more cameras.
and more microphones. So, guys, thank you so much for amazing
you.
day.
Brother,
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And see you guys. Bye.
See you guys.